I will preface by apologising that one of my cats is lurking. So
okay,
hear me how it's just her. I'm trying to keep her out of the room. Congratulations on the show, Brandy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really, really enjoy it so far. I've been saying to the other guys, because I've been through all of you now, that I'm taking my time. I've had 2, but I don't want to blitz it too quickly because I want something to keep me going through the rest of lockdown or however long I'm going to be in this house. So I'm keeping it. But yeah, congratulations. It's a wonderful show. You must be delighted with the little bits of reactions that you've had so far.
Oh my gosh, yes, I'm so excited. And I always say that even if I wasn't a part of this show, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. I'm just very grateful.
I've just realized I love your background because mine's really plain. Everyone else has got amazing backgrounds. Mine's so plain.
Thank you.
Never mind. So I mean, I spoke to your wonderful showrunner earlier, Katori, and she's wonderful. I love talking to her. But this was she was saying about her 10-year odyssey from beginning to now to here. I mean, it must be so fulfilling for you as an actress to be able to be part of something like that someone spent so much time on and taken so much pride in what she's done to get it to this point. That must just be such a wonderful feeling.
It's wonderful and it's intimidating. Like I just told the other interview I just had, because you want to get it right. She's worked so hard. That's her baby. And you just want her to be proud. And, you know, I'm so happy for her too, because I can't even imagine what she's feeling if I'm feeling like this.
What's it been like to work for her? Because I mean, everyone said has had nothing but praise to say about her.
Nothing but praise. Here we go. Because it felt good. It felt comfortable. She's from Memphis. So I just felt like talking to my big sister, like, hey girl, okay, so how you feeling about this? And she always made it an open door policy. Literally, I feel like we've even had a conversation at 2 or 3 in the morning. We'll go to her house, whatever we need to do. Katori was there for us. And I'm like, and you are a married woman with 2 children. How are you not losing your mind by now after 10 years of trying to create all of this and being showrunner, producer, and writer? Wow.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. She was telling me about it and just how she had to kind of learn how to be a showrunner as well as, you know, she was being a parent at the same time. It's just it's just crazy. So take me back to the first time you read the script. I mean, what was it about the story and the character of Mercedes that spoke to you? And why did you think this was a character that kind of, why did she stick with you? And why did you think she was someone that you could portray?
The first look at it, I was like, this is Memphis. This is Memphis. I'm from Memphis. This language, I'm reading how my friends and family talk back home. This has to be for me. So in that sense, there's the comfortability of the dialogue, because that's the first thing we get as actors. You know, we get the breakdown and then we get the dialogue. And so I got the background and I was like, okay, who stripper, do you really want to play one? Do you don't know anything about it? Okay, breathe. Let's just get the dialogue. Then you get the dialogue. And I was like, oh, really? I get to go back home? All right, bet. You know, so it was just amazing to take that journey and learning, because I was not privy. We're from the same city, but my daddy kept that lock on me as a preacher's daughter. So I literally had to go back home, research for myself, go to clubs, find out that Pussy Valley is a neighborhood down the street from my house. Had no idea, but that was the area Daddy said I couldn't go to. So it all makes sense now.
Yeah, I mean, Mercedes is she's such a fiery character, but you immediately you're kind of drawn to her and her story and obviously the relationship she has with her mother and all of the stuff that's going on. I mean, there must be so many reasons for you to want to get involved, but I mean, she must have jumped out of the page at you, and it must have just been such a great experience to read it.
And yes, being that, like, she's a preacher's daughter, so am I. She's a dance coach, so am I. Her and her mom have issues. So did me and my mom back in the day. So I was like, and the fact that I teach a sexy dance class called Hip Hop and Heels, and I teach these women how to be empowered. I'm like, this is too close to home. I think this is something that is for me. So yeah.
And do you, I mean, obviously it's about a strip club and all the stuff that goes with it. I mean, do you approach it in the same way that you would if you were playing any character? It's just about the work, you know, discipline and finding out as much as you can about what these ladies have gone through on a daily basis, and they have their stories. Is that the case for you, that you just, whatever it is, you just give it the same commitment?
Absolutely. For this, I want to say I gave a little more. So like Katori says in her lines, and what I've said to my dance teams growing up all the time, full out. And yes, I feel like I've given other roles my all, but this is my all. You know, like it's like everything, my body, my athleticism, you know, everything had to be there for this to work. And so it really felt good to dig deep. My heart to open up some of those closed parts of me that I kind of put in the back that we weren't going to bring back up, you know. And this show was therapy for me in some of those things, being able to heal from some things and cry it out on the camera. Like Meryl Streep said, take your broken heart and make art.
Absolutely, she did say that. Fantastic. That's a very good mantra, I think. In terms of the world of the, not just the characters, but in terms of the world, not just the strip club and everything else, but the world of these characters and the world that Couturier has created. How exciting when Xeroline was you for to step into that world, given that every single character is so well written, is so well defined, and also they're so distinctive. I mean, every single character is so distinctive.
It was surreal. It was authentic, and especially having our core dancers and background ladies are really in this world in real life. So it was authentic, and I wanted to be authentic for them too, not just Couturier. Like, I want these ladies to see themselves on the camera and not be like, no, that's not what I would do. Like, that's the worst, to truly look at something that someone's supposedly saying is your job profession, and you're like, that is not how we do it. That is not true. And that is not what I've heard so far. And I know that it will continue to be heard and said that, wow, y'all really got it right. Because I think that we really got it right.
I think you did as well. I mean, it's Nico said this as well earlier when I was speaking to him earlier about how, you know, strippers obviously get they're described in certain ways for certain people unfairly, but what they do is kind of like a sport. They are like athletes. They really have to train. They really have to have a discipline. I mean, how eye-opening was it for you not just to do that, but to learn about just what these people are doing, because it's not just for entertainment. There's a real commitment behind it.
Absolutely. And I was just saying, like, I'm climbing to the top of the pole and I'm doing all of these athletic tricks, and then I get $20, really? You know, and it's like a basketball player's tearing their body up, a football player's getting hit, you know, but he's getting paid, you know, for what he does. And I know some people might say, well, don't compare. Well, no, yeah, we're going to compare it, because it's still a sport. It's still athletic. He chose to do that job. He chose to get hit as a football player. She's chosen to perform for you. This is acting. They are acting for you. And when they get off set, just like us actors, they're wrapped. That's it.
There's such an amazing ensemble in this show. I mean, I've spoke to pretty much all of you now, and I mean, the energy from you guys and the excitement, everything is a bit infectious, quite frankly. But I mean, how was it for you to step into with that ensemble? Because it felt like you guys really connected almost immediately, even despite all your characters kind of hating each other at certain points. But they felt there's such a great love and such a great affection for each and every one of you.
Probably the stalking that we did of each other on Instagram before it all started. So, you know, I think I started the stalking because I'm the computer nerd of the group. They know that I'm the one that's going to screenshot. So I'm like, I found Nico first. So then I was like, oh, okay, boom. And I screenshot, I'm like, I think this Shannon girl might be Miss Mississippi. And we're like, let's DM her. So I start liking all her posts. And then she's like, DMs me back and she's like, hi. I'm like, are you Miss Mississippi? And she's like, how you know? She's like, are you Mercedes? We're like, yes, girl. So then we, you know, everybody, and then we found Ella Rica. So then we all ended up on like WhatsApp with each other. So we had kind of gotten to know each other before we even met each other. So then it was like, okay, all right, we're all at the same hotel. Let's meet down at 9. So then we all see each other, and it's like a big blind date that you all finally come together. And it was amazing.
And it rubs off on the show. I mean, that must be great that you have that outside friendship as well. But then when you come to work, you know, you're all in it together. You're all committed. Absolutely. And you want to make the best show that you possibly can, because it would probably be a million times worse for you guys if that didn't happen. It would be quite a different experience.
Like if we weren't on quarantine, we'd probably be somewhere all in Jamaica, because that's what we were talking about. We wanted to take a trip, and, you know, all somewhere like, hey guys, we're all together, you know, but you know, life has happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a crazy time. There's a wonderful thing as well with the show about the kind of attention to detail, and the way that the you know, not just a strip club, but these ladies and their worlds and their families and everything else, and you being from that area. I mean, how excited and how kind of joyous were you in the sense that they captured that particular part of the world so well?
I just got chills. You have no idea how it makes me feel. Like, even though I know it's, you know, from Mississippi, like it's written to be in Mississippi, I feel like it's for home. It's for Memphis. It's for the hometown. So I'm like, y'all, finally something for us. And, you know, the terminology that Couturier's using, the slanguage, it's all Memphis. The music, oh my gosh, it's the music that I was like going to the club in college. Like, everything is just authentic to the world. The opening credits and scene, oh my gosh, That's Memphis. That's the trip I take on the way home. That street, yep, that really looks like growing in grandma's house. You know, like all of that is so authentic. So it's amazing.
Yeah, that song is very distinctive. I think a lot of the best TV shows have such a distinctive feel to
Very
the song, in the
distinct.
sense that you can see the show just listening to the music,
Exactly.
whether it's True Blood or True Detective or this
Uh-huh.
show. You can
Yep.
really see the world just through listening to the music.
Exactly.
So good, so good. I mean, Mercedes, I can imagine she's a fantastic character, and hopefully you'll get to play her for a little bit longer yet,
Oh, I
and
hope so.
everything else. But has she? Do you feel like even if you don't get to go back, and hopefully you do, that she's left an indelible mark on you, that there will be part of her that you carry around with you throughout the rest of your life?
Forever. Mercedes has taught me how to be a lead. You know, you book a lead in a show, but Mercedes taught me how to be that lead. You know, Mercedes taught me how to shine bright and not dim my light, and to be confident, to go after what I want, and to, in this life, you always got to go full out. She taught me that. So there we are.
Yeah, and how good is the I guess it's some sort of a challenge in that playing someone over such a long period of time, because obviously if you did movies or other shows you might not spend so much time, but to spend that much time with a character, I mean they become part of you. And also I can imagine there's an excitement from you that if you go back to do another one, that you'll be hopefully surprised as to where her story goes and what
I cannot wait. I'm like,
what
Katori gonna do? You never know what Katori will do. So I'm like, oh Lord, where is Mercedes going now? What you gonna put her through now, Katori? So yeah, I'm really excited. For me, it was I always like to say my best friend Sasha would tell me, like, after we wrapped, I think I was still Mercedes for about 3 months after we wrapped, and she's like, you do know that you're not Mercedes anymore. And I'm like, what? And she was like, you all in your accent and everything. I'm like, all right, man. You know. So, okay.
Well, I mean, hopefully you get to play for a lot longer, because I can imagine I think the show will do quite well. Just one as kind of a final question then. I mean, I spoke to Katori about, obviously the show's coming out at a point when there's a lot of things happening in the world, obviously the coronavirus, but also the Black Lives Matter movement, and it feels like there's a genuine change occurring. There's a genuine movement this time, rather than sort of 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and kind of forgotten about and stuff like that. But also, I mean, the show's coming out at this time, but I feel like the timing is good, but also the timing would be good at any time. Like, it's a story that needs to be told and everything else. I mean, are you happy that it's coming out at this time, and are you still happy that you hope that in the future that it continues to form discussions for people to educate themselves and people to learn and everything else?
Oh, it's a perfect time. And, you know, of course, when you do any job, you're so excited to get going with it and for people to see what you're doing and all of this. So we were all like, gosh, we can't wait for it to come out. Can't wait for it to come out. And then it was like, ooh, the world shifted. And I'm like, I'm so glad the show didn't come out yet, because it was perfect timing. The things that are going on in this show are very relevant to the things that are going on in this world. And so now I feel like people will watch the show and see it in a different light and actually see what Katori was trying to portray. They're going to pay attention to it a little bit deeper. They're going to learn a little bit more, because I think that people are trying to open their eyes. Some people aren't. And if they aren't, this is about to throw a big old jugular punch to them, like, ooh, wow, do I do that? Do I say that? Is that what they go through? And it's going to be a good learning lesson and an amazing discussion piece. Like, I'm very interested to see every episode. It's something so deep and profound that I feel like people will learn in many ways from the show.
Absolutely. And do you hope UK audiences, I mean, obviously it will travel around the world, but UK audiences, other audiences kind of embrace it for what it is, and not just the kind of the surface level of it, that it's about things that we need to be talking about?
They will. I absolutely think they will. And it's amazing that having an actress like Ella Rica, who's from the UK, playing in a lead role, it's gonna be amazing. And she's gonna bring them in and show them something different as well. So I think that it's a beautiful story. And I want to come to London. That's one of a fun fact. I actually want to move there. So yeah.
It's very hot today, but it's a lovely place, old London. Good old town. Absolute pleasure talking to you, Brandy. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Stay safe and good luck with the show.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You